If you actually love track and field, then the 2024 season has been nothing short of amazing. Between the Olympic trials, the Diamond League final, and of course the games themselves, the best athletes in the world have put on a show time and time again. But none of that can compare to what we just witnessed at the Athlos track meet in New York City. I am not making this up. I've never seen anything like it. To be 100% real with you, when I got up this morning, I had no intentions on making this video. Of course I knew that Gabby Thomas was partnering with 776 to put on an all-women's track meet at the end of the season, but I also didn't know what to expect because it had never happened before. I ended up turning on the pre-show that was hosted by Sireece magazine, and somewhere along the way while I was sitting there, I realized that something special was about to go down, and then I watched the entire event itself, from start to finish, where the action on the track was just about as good as anybody could have ever hoped for. Almost every race was some form of an Olympic final rematch, with Jasmine Camacho Quinn winning the 100 hurdles over Masai Russell, and Marie-Jo Zeta-Lou-Smith pulling away to win the 100. Marilady Paulino did exactly what she does, running away from everybody in the 400, and Faith Kipyegon validated her status as the greatest to ever do it in the 1500. And surprisingly, the final event was even better than advertised, because Gabby Thomas was supposed to win the 200. Remember, she's the one who practically organized the meet to begin with. But Brittany Brown had something to say about it and pulled out the victory at the line. And for anybody who was actually betting on that event, most of them probably lost their money. And that right there is a very good segue, because up until now, I have not made it clear why this meet was so special, aside from the fact that it was an all-ladies track meet. But that was not a track meet that we just witnessed. It was something else entirely. Between the live DJ, trackside VIP seating, celebrity guest appearances, Tiffany's created crowns that they awarded to all the victors, and they even included a concert by Megan Thee Stallion as a finale to the entire event. So after all that, it became abundantly clear to me that Athlos is clearly not just another track meet. It's way more than that. And the real question is, what does this mean for the future of the sport? So I apologize in advance because this video is a little bit different, because pro track and field has been in a state of crisis for a very long time now. It's kind of the reason why the Athlos event was invented. They knew exactly what they were doing by trying to create something different and offer it to the fans. A track and field event that felt way more like a concert than it did like an actual track and field meet. They paid all the athletes very good money in order to be there, and spared no expense to make the product as entertaining as possible. But I'm also aware that this event was a direct response to all the problems in pro track and field. This was a test case to see if we could create something that might actually work. And at the top of this week, I saw a clip from an interview with Kyra Jefferson that I am not able to forget. She said herself that professional track and field is really an amateur-run sport with professional athletes in it. So just going off of that statement, it's pretty clear to me now that we're throwing a whole bunch of stuff at the wall in order to see what's gonna stick. So no matter how amazing this event was, there's also no guarantee that we're ever gonna see anything like it ever again. And this is why. The Athlos meet was a very big deal for two reasons. One is because an athlete took it upon themselves to put on an event to make sure that athletes actually get paid. And the other is the fact that a professional track and field event, not sanctioned by the Diamond League, or the Continental Tour for that matter, was put on in the first place, which means they don't have to play by the same rules, and they get to try something entirely new. As far as the athletes getting paid, the event itself was good for them, but I'm not sure this is a plan for sustainability, and I'll explain. The prize money for winning one event was $60,000. Everybody in the field got something for showing up, in addition to a bonus that was split from the revenues. I was paying attention, and I saw that Brittany Brown not only won the 200-meter dash, but got second in the 100-meter dash field. Her prize money walking away from this event was more than Caitlin Clark's rookie salary in the WNBA. Remember, we're talking about the pay she received from literally competing in one track meet. That's incredibly great for her, but it's not a plan for sustainability. I'm not trying to be a hater. I just have access to Google and a calculator. So I have some version of an idea of how much money this event actually took to put on. All of the ticket revenue combined wouldn't be enough to pay out all of the athletes, at least not at the rates they proposed. And the big money in pro sports anyway really comes from TV deals. I personally watched the event on YouTube. There really wasn't a great way to watch it live on network television, so it must have taken a whole bunch of sponsor money, as well as investor money, to put on this event. And I get it, pro sports leagues do run at a deficit from time to time, but that's on the way to being profitable. I don't know what the balance sheets are going to say after this event, but I'm pretty sure they're going to look interesting. But if you're new here, I want to say thank you for even making it this far into the video. And I'm Coach Rob, the founder of SEArecruiting.com, where I rank the best track and field recruits across the entire nation. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comment section, because I try to read them all. From the athlete perspective, the event was a huge success. And from what I can tell, they had a whole lot of say in how the event was carried out. But it is not their responsibility at all to figure out how to produce a viable professional sports product. Believe it or not, pro athletes like NBA players actually need the league's help to create a product that makes sense. When the NBA went on lockout about a decade ago, we got to watch LeBron, Kevin Durant, and all those other athletes run up in random gyms and play games that really didn't mean anything. If you really love basketball, then it was entertaining enough. But that was not a product that you could sell to a mass market. Which brings me now to my second point, that Athlos put on a track meet that really didn't feel like a track meet at all. I'm not yet sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm sure you're going to tell me in the comments. The event was held at Icon Stadium in New York City, the same venue that also hosts the New York City Grand Prix on the pro circuit. And from what I can tell, they basically sold out the venue, which the New York City Grand Prix normally doesn't accomplish. But I also have a pretty good idea of what it took for them to get those tickets sold. On the tickets themselves, they said Athlos featuring Megan Thee Stallion. If I did not know any better, I would think that Athlos is maybe a singing group that's opening up for Megan Thee Stallion. If you add that she was the grand finale and the event itself had a live DJ and a whole bunch of other bells and whistles, then it seems to me that the focus was not 100% on the track and field product. I'm not mad at it, but there's a lot to figure out about it. At an NBA game, they give you a whole bunch of distractions that aren't just people playing basketball. Everything from the dancers to the cheerleaders, they're not the same thing. They might even get some people to jump on trampolines to entertain you. But they're doing that in an arena with 15,000 seats or more, with a network television deal to go with it. And they do that for an 82-game season. Track and field cannot have 82 track meets like this. Beyond the feeling of a concert, the Athlos meet felt like a celebration. We got to celebrate the greatest women in track and field, or at least some of them, during an Olympic year on a very unique platform. But the issue with it feeling like a celebration is that special events like birthdays are only special because they come around rarely, no more than once a year. So maybe this meet was showing us what some version of a professional track and field all-star game might look like going forward. I know most people think that's what the Olympics are, but I beg to differ. My biggest concern out of all of this is while watching the Athlos meet, much of the language was around celebrating the women in sports, and that is fine. I totally endorse that. But let us clarify, these women, the top track and field athletes in the world, shouldn't have to go through all of this spectacle in order for us to acknowledge them. Between the DJ and the entrance music and the dancing and the crowns and Megan Thee Stallion, all of that is well and good. But why is it not good enough to just watch them be the best in the world already? Going forward, we should be able at the very least to sell out a 5,000-seat stadium without Megan Thee Stallion as the headliner. And at the end of the day, Athlos is a talent showcase. But they became a talent showcase that paid out way more prize money than anything currently available on the pro circuit. Although they were focused on the women, there has to be some lessons that the entire sport can take from all of this, because they are empowering them. At the same time, when the entire sport is currently trying to reinvent itself because they have absolutely no choice. And the fact is, Athlos figured out how to make a track meet, a reasonable sporting event for a casual fan to attend. The fact that they kept the whole thing under 3 hours, not including the concert, is basically a miracle if you're asking me. And if we don't avoid the real conversation, a meet like this was never really supposed to become a thing in the first place. It basically got created because things were so bad to begin with. And yes, pro track and field is a hard thing to figure out. I get that, but that is also true for every successful sports league at first. Up until now, what we've been doing is most accurately described as an amateur sport with professional athletes competing in it. Athlos doesn't have all the answers, and certainly can't create a world where we pay the athletes that much money every time they go out there. But it also proves that Americans will watch track and field if you package it in a way that they understand it. It just shouldn't be the job of the athletes to figure out how to do the packaging part, because Megan Thee Stallion won't be able to headline every single competition, and you can't call something a celebration, even if it is for track and field, unless you only celebrate it during special occasions. And thanks to the Olympics, track and field up until now has basically been like a kid born on a leap year, where the only birthday they ever get to celebrate occurs every 4 years. In the sport of track and field, confidence is everything, because when you win, that is just the moment when everybody else finds out what you already knew to be true, that fast is a lifestyle. Get your Fast is a Lifestyle track and field gear at scarecruiting.com/shop, or use the link in the description below. It's a huge support to me and this channel, so I can continue to make you more content like this. And remember, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe.